Don't be surprised if under the lunar eclipse in Scorpio on May 5th, there's financial market volatility and very disruptive events in the world, particularly as they relate to the crypto market with fallout or more information around FTX. This is because this is the final full round of eclipses in Scorpio and Taurus. And a year ago when that occurred, we had a lot of the Celsius things come out. 6 months later in October, November 2022, we had FTX uncovered and a lot of that fallout being shown. And now 6 months later is the lunar eclipse, or the ending to what would have begun 6 months ago with that solar eclipse that showed all that with FTX. So don't be surprised if there's information that comes out, if some more things are full circle, or if more contagion is uncovered as it relates to those actions. It doesn't look like anything worse or anything that's going to be, I mean, technically it might be out of nowhere with like, I mean, what do we individually know about behind the scenes stuff? But I wouldn't say it looks any worse or any more shocking. In fact, it doesn't look any more shocking, but it does look like the final chapter tagging onto that.
Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Zen Lounge. In this video, I'm doing a recap video to my video last week about the lunar eclipse warning. And I've made a video talking about lunar eclipse and the effects on the market. And I showed many study examples of when lunar eclipses happened, and examples of stock market going down. Also, something important to be aware of is when lunar eclipses happen, a lot of people notice an increase of feelings like anxiety. So if you know this and you start feeling these type of emotions and feelings, you could be like, okay, it's the eclipse season. That's what's going on. So May 5th, let me talk about it one more time because I didn't talk about this before in the last video. There's going to be a full moon, May full moon. The flower moon gets eclipsed. So this is a flower moon. And it's going to be accompanied by the lunar eclipse. And this is going to happen May 5th at 1:34 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And immediately following after this flower moon, there's also going to be a meteor shower on the 6th and 7th. So May 5th is Friday, the flower moon. And then on the 6th and 7th, there is a meteor shower. So on Friday, going over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, there's showers. And let me just talk about some of the current news. So if you look up, there's a lot of folklore, urban legends, karaoke legends, Scare the Frog. Frogs are actually even themed with eclipses. So let me read this. When the sun or moon is eclipsed, it's because of a great frog up in the sky trying to swallow it. This is a member of the karaoke tribe shared this urban legend. And what do we see? We have this meme coin swallowing up all the liquidity in the crypto market. And at the same time, we have U.S. banking crisis. Bank shares plummet this week. Shares of major U.S. regional banks fell further on Tuesday in the aftermath of the collapse of First Republic Bank, the largest U.S. bank failure since 2008 financial crisis. Shares of PacWest Bancorp tumbled nearly 30%, while Western Alliance Banks and KeyCorp fell 21% and 10% respectively. The KBW Regional Bank Index was down 5.2%, hitting its lowest since 2020. Experts warn if confidence crisis can happen to First Republic, it can happen to any bank in this country. Analysts from Evercore ISI speculate on the implications of JP Morgan being the government first line of defense in such a crisis. In the event of such a crisis, the repercussions of our unsustainable greed and reckless money printing have led us to a dire state in which we find ourselves yet again. This could get much worse if the Fed doesn't pivot. He's showing all the red that's happening today. Let's look at the actual numbers. PacWest down, Western Alliance down, Metropolitan Bank down, Home Street down, Zion's Bank down, KeyCorp down, Harbor One down, Citizens Financial all down. Dozens of regional bank stocks are plunging today as the bank crisis continues to gain momentum. This is all happening during lunar eclipse week. Now let's talk about JP Morgan real quick. JP Morgan Chase takes over First Republic after biggest U.S. bank failure since 2018. I just did a video yesterday talking about the World Economic Forum, the Great Reset. Well, the big banks get bigger and bigger. The big banks get bigger and bigger. They're, JP Morgan. So JP Morgan now holds more than 2.4 trillion in deposits. So the big banks get bigger, and the Great Reset continues. And what's important to know about JP Morgan? JP Morgan's, is massive now. It keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. but JP Morgan has a connection to Epstein. And imagine if JP Morgan ever goes down. You're talking about a banking crisis. Then you're talking about an apocalypse if JP Morgan goes down, because how big they are. And there's so many connections with Epstein, and the story keeps getting bigger and bigger. The same person, Mario, posts JP Morgan could be liable for Epstein sex trafficking. According to Reuters, a U.S. judge has ruled the JP Morgan Chase and Company could be held liable for damages resulting from Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking activities. It is found that the bank's former CEO, Jess Staley, had knowledge of Epstein's illegal activities. The ruling came in response to a lawsuit filed against the bank by a victim of Epstein's sex trafficking, who alleges that Staley had close relationship with Epstein, was aware of his criminal conduct. The judge rejected JP Morgan's argument that could not be held liable for Epstein's actions because the bank did not have a direct relationship with the victim. The case is one of several lawsuits against JP Morgan related to its relationship with Epstein, who was a client of the bank for many years. Can JP Morgan be held accountable despite their immense power? I believe so. I believe justice eventually will come to light. And just imagine what the ramification would be for a bank the size of JP Morgan, to be tied to Jeffrey Epstein. That cannot be good. Okay, so we just talked about the lunar eclipse. We talked about everything, the things that could happen during a lunar eclipse. So the lunar eclipse has definitely, I'm filming this video now because I'm trying to self-study. I'm trying to learn what these planets. I'm not an expert at astrology. I'm actively learning with you guys, and I made a video last week. Let's see what happens. And now we're seeing what happens, right? And the lunar eclipse, hopefully the showers bring us flowers, and it ends up being bullish for self-custody, bullish for decentralization, bullish for crypto. So hopefully once people realize banks aren't safe, funds from the banks could flow into crypto, and it could be extremely bullish for certain crypto projects. One of the complaints about Pepe's meme coin is that there's not enough liquidity on it. There's not enough liquidity in the markets. XRP on-demand liquidity, right? That could be part of the end game when there's a liquidity crisis, when there's a banking crisis, when people want to switch from centralized banking to decentralized DeFi. Maybe these showers bring flowers for crypto. Who knows? But I want to show you the timeline real quick, because I did a video also on solar eclipses immediately after. Solar eclipses have a different effect on the market. Solar eclipses usually cause the market to go up. But we saw lunar eclipses wreck the banking stocks. On average, during solar eclipses, I just recently learned that the stock market goes up average 17% on the last 15 solar eclipses. And there's been 0 total solar eclipses in the U.S. between 1979 and 2017. This is some new information. Incredibly rare for a total solar eclipse visible at the same location twice, usually every 400 years. But this location in the USA will see 2 of them exactly 6 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days apart. The last year XRP went on this big bull run was the year of 2017. I believe it started around December 2017. And then also we have next year's Bitcoin halving calendar scheduled happening in April 2024. A lot of people are saying that the market should be a lot better. We have a solar eclipse 2017, and then we have the solar eclipse April 8th, 2024. We also have a solar eclipse October 2023. And, things should be getting a lot better. But that was interesting. I want to show you that these 2 solar eclipses are 6 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days apart. And I believe that this will be a lot more positive than this week's lunar eclipse, this banking collapse that we're watching in real time. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me show you one more joke. After I made my video on the lunar eclipse, and I start seeing all the signs, the biggest sign was Jim Cramer on April 30th posting, "I'm a bear when it's called for," like in 2007. But this stock market belongs to the bulls. There's been a big ongoing joke that Jim Cramer, inverse Cramer, I wonder if they're ever going to pull the rug on Jim Cramer and he actually does call something right. But right now, every time Jim Cramer calls something, the people that do the opposite have been getting rewarded. He said, "Hey, this stock market belongs to the bulls." I'm sure a bunch of people put shorts in and now they're winning because, basically every market is down this week. What a legend. So he's like a psyop teaching people not to trust the media. I personally believe teaching people to think for themselves and do the opposite of what mainstream media is telling them. So we could start moving forward to a new decentralized economy where people think for themselves. My personal opinion, it's like he's a great training person to teach normies not to listen. And if you enjoy these type of conversations, this type of research, it's impossible for me to update in real time on YouTube, and there's lots of information coming in all day, 24/7. So join my website, join my Discord community. Would love to have you be active in our community. We have, networking events and more coming up. So this will all be in the description below. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I have more videos coming, so please turn my notifications on. Please subscribe to my channel. I would love to hit 10,000 subscribers this year. And thank you guys for all the support. Let's stay aware of this lunar eclipse, and let's hope flowers bloom after this for our favorite digital assets. Everyone have a great day and peace.